iDubbbz has become like Hassan Piker and leaves out context, but expects you to believe him, and when the context is given out, Ian just fucks off and he's hidden. He's not even mentioned anything about this. So it'll be interesting to see if he actually does come back and talk about this. But then I imagine that Ian is just telling his wife how much his tummy hurts and how the internet is being mean to him. I could imagine right now that Ian is running around going like, why doesn't anyone like my new content cop? I made this for my brand new friends. In Ian's response, he goes into a lot more detail about one specific thing that proves that Ian is a fucking snake.
A few days ago, my good friend Ian, also known as iDubbbz, released a content cop about me. His video's over an hour long and it's full of a lot of accusations. We watched the entire video, every frame of it, responded to every accusation on the podcast in a really long episode. We watched the whole thing, so if you're interested in a more thorough response to everything, I would recommend watching this episode. The video that I'm making today, however, I don't need an hour for, because there's really just one central point that I want to make here. My good friend Ian, in his hour-long takedown, did not mention one time Child Protective Services. Not one time. In the entire video, he never says CPS. No mention, no explanation, no overview, nothing. Zero mentions of CPS. A few weeks ago, Child Protective Services showed up to our house at 6 a.m. to interrogate us about an anonymous tip they got that our kids were crawling around and eating dog shit at catching diseases. Ian spends the majority of his video characterizing me like a raving lunatic who's lashing out at everyone around me with zero provocation.
Ian is 100% a snake for doing this. All of Ian's video is bad faith and void, not actually showing where the clips were from and not actually giving the context of why Ethan was crashing out. The fact that seeing CPS come in and you're like, what the fuck is going on? Because some fucking cockwombles believed one person who shouldn't be believed in, and you have denims coming in and making it worse. It's so fucked up. Knowing you have all the information and you don't actually talk about it, it's incredibly bad faith. And I know that Ian would absolutely hate it if someone did this to him. Considering he would normally research his videos really well, shows to me that this was just a massive hit piece so that he could do this to his friends.
Maybe if Ethan's able to get some help, maybe if he stops harassing other creators, maybe if he does these things, eventually he'll find peace and we can like rekindle our friendship. And I feel like I am speaking up for a lot of people who have problems with you and a lot of people who have been on the receiving end of your harassment.
Why would they want to be friends with someone who snakes around the back and stabs them? Ian threw 8 years worth of friendship just down the toilet, all because of some talk, and they believed it. I would think that Ian and his wife would just be sitting around watching videos and not actually reach out to Ethan and Healer and talk about it. You've been friends for such a long time. This would be a normal thing that you would do. It's like, hey, some stuff's been going on. We want to talk to you about it. But no, they just sit back, watch other people talk about it, and then just kind of think, oh man, we don't want to be involved in this. But now Ian has got some new friends because he thinks he can rebuild his career. Bro thought he could change and yet just went back to his old ways. He's a fucking snake. He's only speaking up for his new friends. I might have mentioned in my other video that Ian and his wife use their podcast as well for their emotional dumping ground. There are two things why Ian and his wife would never go live on the podcast, because one, they would never be able to edit anything out, and also it would be ripped apart. They wouldn't want their feelings hurt. I don't think that they could actually take it. I think they would just cry and be like, podcast is back in like 3 months while we emotionally get stronger on this one. I mean, hell, we found out that Ian had IBS from his wife when they did that stream a long time ago. Yet most of the clips I've seen in their podcast is just Ian and his wife bitching about stuff. Also, to me, they're really, really fucking boring. The fact that Ian didn't show the name of the H3H3 podcast because Ian knew that this would rip apart his own content cop. Lying and misdirecting people to them sounds so much better and also more appealing to Hassan's audience. You don't need to go look at that video, just look at the clips I'm showing you of a man being crazy and shouting because we want to do things in bad faith. Ian is a fucking rat for this. If he wanted to show empathy, he would have mentioned about the CPS. You backstabbed your friends just for some new fucking horrible ones. I hope all of this was worth it, you disgusting piece of shit.
Now, why am I mad at Ian for this? Well, let's start here. iDubbbz is someone he's accusing me of in his video of harassing. Let's see what iDubbbz said about my children 3 days before CPS was called.
He lets his dogs shit all over his mansion, and he just leaves the shit on the floor, something that is probably related to the fact that his former housekeeper is suing him for a number of different reasons. So I would assume he doesn't actually have a housekeeper anymore, or perhaps he lost his extra housekeeper. So now the house is just like covered in dog shit. And he has kids, and his kids like crawl into the dog shit, and God forbid, I don't know what they do with it. I don't know if they eat it, or if it's just from like contact with it with their hands or something. But they contracted a parasite that I had previously never heard of in my life called Giardia from the dog shit that is all over his house.
Dude, how is it that like maybe once a week I look into what Ethan Klein's been up to, and every time I manage to find more and more terrible shit. This is where Ethan tells a story about his family getting Giardia.
We already have mold Mondays. Now we have shit Saturdays.
Also, this is not a joking matter, by the way. It can be very severe and deadly to small children. I mean, much like many other illnesses, it's very, very, very dangerous when infants get the same sicknesses that adults get. There are lots of things that you can get as an adult. You're totally fine. You'll be A-okay. No problem. A child, a small infant that has no immune system, shouldn't be catching anything.
No wonder his house is covered in dog shit, and his neglected children raised by nannies have contracted parasites previously unknown to science from the feces. I wonder why he skipped over all of this, because everything that I said in this story, which by the way was apparently compiled by his crew,
no wonder this motherfucker is always sick. Yeah, it all makes sense now. It makes sense why he doesn't care about Palestinian children when he is neglecting his own. How is this happening? How is this happening?
Even after CPS was called, iDubbbz attempted to justify it by claiming that it's okay because children can't be traumatized.
I don't want you to create any bad memory here for them. Like, they are 5 and 3. They don't understand this shit. So I told him,
create any bad memory for them. You're not forming memories at 3 years old, and it's very rare that you're forming memories at 5 years old. Nah, yes, you are. No, you're not. When we're talking about being able to remember, being able to recall memories, it's like 4 is the cutoff. But even if you are forming any memories at 4, you're not going to be able to remember them past like 15. You have maybe 1 or 2 memories.
All iDubbbz wanted to do was try and hurt Ethan and Gila. If their kids were taken away, she would laugh at it and be like, this is why you shouldn't. And then she would just take a sip of a drink and move on. iDubbbz's part of this was to promote the whole CPS thing after listening to someone who doesn't know shit about it. The way she goes on about Ethan is always sick. Is she fucking stupid? A lot of the time, kids catch things and then they spread it around. Is she fucking stupid? A lot of the times, kids catch things and then they spread it around. And then that's when you catch it. It's a simple thing when you're a parent. One of the main roles of being a parent is looking after your kid. You're not going to just put them in another room and be like, fend for yourself, kid, and then just walk away because you're trying not to get sick. Parents look after their kids. It feels like she doesn't know anything and is trying to paint Ethan in a very bad light. What pisses me off about the whole memory thing is that a lot of people remember stuff from a young age. This is how they learn. This is how they form bonds with people. This is how they learn about the world. Can you imagine at the time you're in bed, you're sleeping or just being in bed, and then suddenly people just rush in and take you away from your parents. They don't know what's going on and they're crying out to their parents, and suddenly people are stepping in front of you saying you can't go to them and they're holding you back. This is going to form a memory, also cause trauma. It's so messed up that iDubbbz can't actually think about this and just spews massive shit thinking she can own Gila. I'm pretty sure a lot of people who are watching this as well as going through life can recall memories at a young age. Also, you can form trauma at a young age, being scared of things. There are things that scared me as a kid that still affects me today. Is iDubbbz trying to take that away from me? Is she telling me I didn't form memories at a young age? Man, I'm so glad that she came in and told me all of this. I was so wrong.
There's a wide variation about the mean across methods, cohorts. The average age of adults' earliest memories is 3.5 years old. You're not really forming memories at 3.
You literally just read out of your mouth that the average adult starts forming memories at 3. What is happening? Her defense for sending the CPS to break up our family and to interrogate our 3 and 5-year-old is that, don't worry, kids don't remember stuff.
It's right there in front of you. Why the fuck are you like,
No. Wait.
you just fucking read it? Does it take a while for it to sink in? Or do you have to have Hassan come in and tell you? So you'll be like, yep, that's right. Yeah, he's completely right, chat. Yeah, Hassan told me he's completely right.
Here's Bad Empanada once again, who posted a story saying, I'm the one who called CPS on Ethan Klein. I want CPS to take his kids away because they are seriously in danger.
Today was pretty bad, wasn't it? Really sucked for you. You were so disappointed. The betrayal of one of your closest long-term friends, huh? Tick-tock, though, Ethan. Tick-tock, because this was just a taste. This was just a small part of what we have organized for you. It's only gonna get worse. It's only gonna get worse, Mr. Klein. Every day, sit there just waiting in misery, in fear of what we have in store for you. Tick-tock goes the clock.
What in the Marvel villain is this? Does this guy think he's some sort of like mastermind? Like he thinks he kept Ian in a room and was playing this? When you find out that this bad enchilada is trying to intimidate Ethan, oh look, I took your friend away. We all ganged up and took him away. It can't be proven yet, but you get this feeling that this guy was sending the human skulls as a warning. We'll talk about that in a little bit. It's so fucked up. Like, why make this video, put it online, and then people are going to be like, yep, that's the fucking guy who fucking did all this shit. What the fuck? That's him. That's him. But yeah, you know, at the end of the day, iDubbbz signs off on this. She thinks it's okay because she was watching the guy's video. It's absolutely fine. And because of this, it means that Ian thinks this is all okay as well.
I used to work with this video editor named Froggy Tonic. I discovered him because he was in the circles online that I was in. There would be an occasional Froggy tweet where I'd be like, I agree with that, you know? Like, I'm not gonna endorse it. I'm not gonna retweet it or like it. But fair enough. Now, my former editor of 1.5 years ago did say some truly mean shit. He called Hila the C word. He said they're trying to kill their dog with cheddar cheese and a bunch of other shit, I'm sure.
Now let me show you the tweets that Ian conveniently omitted. Me when my 3 kids ask me why they haven't seen me in the past 4 months. I was in my basement. How can you shun a fallen fan when they worry about their 3 kids when they can't be bothered to protect their dogs? Ethan was neglectful with his dogs. He's already been neglectful with his kids, and he will continue to be. As a child of a neglectful, bipolar, narcissistic dad, that's precisely why I worry about Ethan's kids. I explained it on the podcast, but the truth of the matter is, it's all a lie. It's all wrong. The man is talking about my children. He's painting me as a terrible parent, a neglectful parent, and saying that he's, whose claim to fame is being iDubbbz's friend and former editor, is spreading malicious, damaging rumors about me that led to the CPS being called. Which, by the way, Ian does not explain one time. He did not mention why I'm angry at Froggy Tonic. He did not mention why I'm angry at iDubbbz. He did not mention the name of the episode. He did not mention what the episode was about. He actually has a perfect opportunity to explain the CPS call, but watch what he does here instead.
Now, my former editor of a year and a half ago did say some truly mean shit. He called Hila the C word. He said they're trying to kill their dog with cheddar cheese and a bunch of other shit.
What other shit, Ian? Other shit is doing a lot of heavy lifting, man. Now, why does this matter? Because Anissa was yucking it up with these guys during the period in which they were spreading this rumor and when the CPS call was made. The CPS call is central to understanding this story. You cannot tell this story without that context, and to try to tell this story without including that detail, it would be the most bad faith, cruel, gaslighting hit piece of all time.
I don't know how many times people have to say this, but don't bring your problems you have with someone into the real world. Talking about someone's kids is messed up. They have done absolutely nothing wrong, and yet it can cause serious damage. There are people who I can't stand, and yet I wouldn't go and fuck with their lives and all. You wouldn't like it done to you, so why do it to other people? It's really fucking snaky that Ian wouldn't tell the full context of the story. What Ian did in this video was horrible and shows that he's not changed. He's still that fucking loser that got broken by Sam Hyde and that he can't recover from it. His therapist must be making a fucking shit ton of money just from that one little event. What I find weird is at the age of 32, he learned empathy, and it was only probably because he was getting laid and he was like, man, I'm a real man now. Ian is the type of person that would complain that he was missing a grape, but then he ate it beforehand. He didn't make a content cop. He made a hit piece, and it's fucking sad. Why wouldn't you talk about the whole thing on why Ethan is crashing out? Is it because it didn't fit your narrative? And if the people actually knew it, then it sets a whole new kind of light on the video.
He convinced his audience that the reason that I'm mad, that I'm lashing out, simply because I'm a raving lunatic. I am crashing out. I'm just crazy and harassing his friends for no reason. And by the way, to my good friend Ian of 8 years, I really appreciate you weaponizing my mental health against me.
To make Ethan crash out. He's having a parasocial, weird crash out. People can have crash out moments. Maybe if Ethan's able to get some help.
Someone who I've confided in over the years with my struggles with it, who understands what I've been through, the lengths that I've gone to work on myself and improve my mental condition. For him to throw that in my face, to characterize anything I'm doing as crashing out, that I need help, that I need to get some kind of treatment, is cruel and pathetic on a level I didn't think he would ever be possible of doing.
It's so fucking scummy that Ian would do this. Trying to paint the narrative that anything that Ethan talks about means that people are going to be like, man, this guy needs to go to therapy. He needs help for himself. Don't listen to him until he's actually sat in front of someone or he's told us that he's going to therapy. It's a fucking bitch move that will probably backfire on Ian. And I'm guessing that Ethan knows stuff about Ian that he can use. Now, I don't know if Ethan will do that. I don't know if he's going to tell all of Ian's secrets. That's completely up to him. But can you imagine that if Ethan just says, oh yeah, Ian's wife absolutely fucking hates him and wanted to take him down because she hates him. And the Sam Hyde thing absolutely keeps him up at night because he can't let it go. Either way, trying to paint someone in that light is absolutely fucking horrible, and Ian should be fucking ashamed of himself. Whew, gonna try and calm down here for this next one.
There's something that I've never talked about publicly, but around the same time, we received 2 human skulls in the mail at our home, which led us to having a very pleasant interview with the FBI. Things have progressed well past the point of that's just what the internet does.
When seeing the human skulls, this definitely said that, hey, that person is trying to send a message, and it's a message that is on their lives. Who the fuck would send human skulls to people? If you're sending this shit to people, then you need help. The fact that you have this bad enchilada guy saying that he called CPS, and in his video, Ethan shows that it could be this guy, or that it could have been any of Hassan's friends. I am so glad that Ian co-signs all of this and is absolutely fine with this level of fucked up harassment. This is sick and they all need help. If you have internet beef, then it stays like that. You don't take it into the real world, as this is just absolutely fucked up. I'm glad that Ethan got the FBI involved. It makes more sense for them to get involved, and I hope that they can get the person involved. Is this who Ian wants to be friends with?
Ian had a recent revelation. He's transcended into a new person. He's achieved nirvana and discovered empathy at age 32.
I think only in these past couple of years have I gained the ability empathy, and I'm very ashamed to admit that. It sounds really pathetic to say at the age of 32 I've acquired empathy, but I have, and I've realized it because I just can't help myself but feel for other people's pain and suffering now. I'm still not perfect. I think that is, my empathy meter's only maybe a quarter of the way filled up, potentially, but it's at least there.
In the spirit of his newfound enlightenment, he had this to say.
I have made some cruel, hurtful content, and I need to acknowledge that, and I'm really sorry that it's taken me this long to acknowledge it. The content I'm talking about specifically are content cop videos, and videos where I was just generally criticizing people for very lackluster reasons, and obviously didn't have any accountability online whatsoever on my end. I was morally grandstanding and acting as if I am any better than any of these people that I was making content cop videos on, and I'm not. I'm a human, I'm a real human who makes mistakes, and I make a different set of mistakes than the people I was making videos on, but it doesn't matter. I don't think anyone deserves that level of cruelty or hate. It's also indoctrinated a lot of people into thinking that this is an okay way to behave, and it's not.
What happened? Am I so uniquely evil that you're willing to abandon your newfound principles after, less than a year? What is it that I've done, Ian, that makes me more detestable than any of the other people that you've content copped? And for what did you do this? To revitalize your dying career? This entire video reeks of desperation, of being thrown together, and poorly researched. I don't really even understand why they did this, and I can't imagine that it's going to be worth it. Thanks for the 8 years of friendship, buddy. Have fun with your new friends.
Ian is just a massive cockwomble. He's the sort of person that would backstab you quickly so he can go and hang out with his new friends. The main thing I see from all of this is that his wife made friends with Hassan's friends. They said to Ian, you can't sit with us until you get rid of your friend Ethan. And rather than Ian going, well, it's been 8 years, so no, we won't. He went, yes, wife, of course, wife. And he threw it all away. Hearing all the stuff in this video and actually seeing what happened proves that Ian is a horrible, nasty person who thought he could make a comeback with making a content cop, thinking this would get his old audience back, and then he just fooled everyone and just sat there making a bad faith video, thinking that he could get away with it. You are a nasty little troll, Ian, and I hope that your new friends will stab you in the back and leave you hanging out to dry. You went into making the video about Ethan knowing what happened and everything behind it, and you still ran with it and you lied to people. This shows that you haven't learned empathy at all. What you have learned is how to backstab people close to you and throw it all away because your wife didn't like things. You may have some new fans right now that are cheering you on going, yeah, but the rest of the internet just sees how much of a cockwomble you are. I'm going to leave it there, as finding out more information about all of this just really boils my blood. I am so glad that your charity event is going to fail. I'm hoping that you get investigated, and I hope all your new little friends fuck you over, and when that happens, I'm going to be making a video on it and I will laugh. Anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Let me know down below in the comments and let's discuss. And while you're down there, why not hit the like button and subscribe, as I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So I know we can smash this goal. So let's fucking go. And with that, I'll end the video here.